Welcome back, True Seeker. In the news, NFL player, he wears number 3 for the Tennessee Titans. It's going to be his third NFL season. They're saying his father's $3 million house exploded. And they're saying it's likely from a natural gas accident. And if you haven't been paying attention this year, the federal government or people within the federal government have made it be known that they are targeting natural gas. I actually live in a part of Washington State where they stopped building the natural gas line. Natural gas has become this political thing, but never in my life have I seen a house turned into confetti from a natural gas leak. And we're going to get to why it's so significant the day this happened in the address. We're also going to get to why it matters that it came 201 days after Joe Biden and his administration on February 1st announced that they were targeting natural gas. So we have our latest 201 here. If you're new here, we talk about 201 all the time. I'll have my latest book out on the meaning of that number and why people need to know about it. The examples just mount by the day. But here, before we get ahead of ourselves, this is the Tennessee Titans, right? The Tennessee Titans. And they used to be the Houston Oilers. Houston, the biggest refining city in America, one of the biggest refining cities in the world. Natural gas, one of the things targeted along with all carbon emissions in Agenda 21 and 2030. That is the political agenda that some people prescribe to, that if you pay attention to world events, it's amazing how they tuck in essentially the consequences of world events, even things like the pandemic, how they tie in nicely with the Agenda 21 and 2030 goals that are being achieved. And let's not forget that Agenda 21 was signed off on the day leaving 201 days left in the year in light of this happening 201 days after Biden's administration put it out on February 1st, 2023. They're going after this. But this is the story, right? This is the story. And again, the Titans have that connection back to the Oilers and refining. And again, that should all be making sense. But let's go through this piece by piece and see how perfect this is. If you're new here, this is what we've been doing for a decade, exposing what's really going on in the world. The number 81 is what we call the ritual number. So many rituals are performed around this number. And notice how in Gematria, natural gas explosion equals 81. This happened in connection to the Tennessee Titans young star, but 81 days after the state of Tennessee's birthday. And you know, another state where there's definitely oil and pumping, but 81 days, natural gas explosion 81, rituals 81, President Biden's 81. And remember, Biden supposedly got 81 million votes. In his hometown of Scranton, Pennsylvania, Route 81 goes through there. And The Office, a mockumentary, ran 201 episodes. Huge number with the Jesuit cabal that Joe Biden's a part of. Just like Trump, just like a lot of them. That's why Trump was burying his wife last year on the 201st day of the year, and why Joe Biden's son died 201 days before the Pope, the first Pope to live in Suite 201 at the Vatican, whose name equals 201, like the Jesuit order. And also what happened to his wife and daughter. But anyway, not to be super redundant, 201 days after February 1st, when the U.S. Department of Energy, through the Biden administration, announced the new energy efficiency standard, which is really targeting natural gas and making a lot of it not in compliance with law. So you got to replace. And I imagine there's going to be more and more communities with natural gas, you know, becoming a thing of the past, just like out here where I am right now. So now, something else I've been talking about. I've been talking about the ritual with the Tennessee Titans on January 13th, 2018. And if you recall what happened that day, they were playing the Patriots in the playoffs. And Marcus Mariota was the quarterback for the Titans out of Hawaii. And it was the day in history that the USS Boston landed on Hawaii in part of the American overthrow of that land. But it was the anniversary of the USS Boston landing that you had that missile scare where those alerts went out to everybody's phone that like it made it feel like they were about to die in nuclear warfare. And 38 minutes later, they put out a text that it was an accident. And this time Maui burns up, and somehow none of the emergency alerts were done for the people, and this unprecedented fire that made it look like victims had gone through the volcano in Pompeii from Mount Vesuvius. But we were talking about these parallels and how this, it seemed like there was a theme here, right? As we'll get to, this man who lost his father in this house explosion, his father's dead. He lost his mother in 2018, just days before that Hawaii scare. This same player, Caleb Farley, he lost his mother just days before that happened, and we'll come back to that. But isn't it funny that the Titans are about to play the Patriots again in the preseason, and we'll get to why it matters August 25th. They're saying the father's dead and a 25-year-old man named Christian. And by the way, they say Caleb Farley is one of the more spiritually outspoken people in the league right now. So consider that too. The other person dead is Christian Rogers. There's the crosses on his cheeks. Again, number 3, the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. 3rd season, $3 million house. Vatican likes a nice house too. This year the Super Bowl's on the Vatican's birthday. Vatican's more like a palace. But here's the reporting. The father of Tennessee Titans cornerback Caleb Farley died overnight when the NFL player's $3 million home exploded in Mooresville. We'll get to that. North Carolina, short before midnight. Just reminds me how the MJ was in Italy 201 days after the post-birthday with his 44-year-old Italian wife. Queen City News reported the identity of the deceased victim is that of Robert Matthews Farley, whose body was found in the debris. The 61-year-old was said to be staying at the home at the time of the explosion. WSOC was the first to report Farley was the football player's father. They want those bragging rights. You guys ever seen that movie with Jake Gyllenhaal where he creates the news by manufacturing tragedies? Anyway. Caleb Farley was not a victim of the blast, so the football player's fine. It's unclear if he was at home when it happened. Well, it looks like he probably wasn't. But, with all the 3, Genesis 3 is about the serpent, the most clever character in the entire Bible, the Satan's serpent, an S like a dollar symbol, the things that happen when you sell your soul for money. You see how Caleb Farley, the day that his dad's house exploded, it was the 293rd day of his age, and his mother died 293 weeks before the father. And 293 is the 62nd prime number, and it's a number of sacrifices that we've talked about so many times. Sacrifice is 62. And we talked about how big that was with what just happened to Hawaii right after Barack's 62nd birthday and all the other 62s in that. But this happened in Mooresville, and Mooresville equals 62. Like sacrifice, like Torah. Again, a part of the Torah is sacrifice. Sacrifice the other way is 46, like Genesis 46, the first book of the Torah is about sacrifice. But a deal with the devil, Faustian bargain, that's also 62. Again, Queen 62, huge number with the Queen. Last year, the Queen died on the opening day of the NFL season, September 8th, where the Bills beat the Rams, and Buffalo's the Queen City. And Buffalo and Tennessee certainly have history. The Music City Miracle, when that first playoff game was won by Buffalo and forever over the Titans. But yes, his father dead on the 293rd day of his age. His mother dead January 2nd, 2018, 293 weeks earlier. It's also 67 months, which goes with the phrase blood sacrifice and human sacrifice. 67 months and 19 days. 67, the 19th prime. If I'm not mistaken, wasn't the Music City Miracle in the... I got to go back and double check that. I don't want to speculate. Go back and confirm that later. But here, also, just the Maui and Tennessee thing. Again, Joe Biden was in Maui speaking on the state's 64th birthday. Joe Biden equals 64, like Maui, like Robert Farley, who blew up. Again, he blew up at the tick of midnight at the end of August 21st on the day of Hawaii's 64th birthday. Again, Hawaii, weather warfare, big bombs in the air, Titans named after Titan missiles. Well, and also... Remember the Titans. Don't forget all the rituals connected to that film and deaths. It got real bad the other year when the Titans lost to the Chiefs in the AFC Championship. And isn't Denzel Washington in that movie? Jesuit-educated Denzel. Jesuits running the whole show. But again, notice how Robert Farley's 64. Notice how Robert Farley's 145 like Mooresville as well. Maui melted on the day leaving 145 days left in the year. Mooresville's also 152 like Joe Biden. Again, his administration going after natural gas. Mooresville 62. Again, just so huge in the Hawaii thing right after Obama's 62nd birthday on Kanye's 62nd day of his age. When again, Kanye has the album in Hawaii, 808s and Heartbreak. And 808 became the Hawaii area code on August 8th in history. And again, the 808 drum track with hip-hop music celebrating his 50th birthday, the week Hawaii, the 50th state, burns up. And that 808 drum tracks from Japan where Hiroshima and Nagasaki got hit not far away. August 6th, August 9th, the dates surrounding what happened in Hawaii. And Jay-Z equals 62 in Gematria, who's connected to Kanye. And Black History with Obama. And his first music video, Hawaiian Sophie, where he gets yanked up on ropes at the 50-second mark. Go check it out. You'll see I'm not tripping. Robert Farley, 179, like the NFL born on 17/9. It's right as NFL season's getting underway. 179, the 41st prime, like Hawaii got destroyed. Pearl Harbor in 41. And we talked about the significance of the Rock's father dying 41 years before all this on the day leaving 201 days left in the year when all his tattoos are what Moana in the Disney film is named after. Or the tattoos are what the Moana character's tattoos are modeled after, the Rock's grandfather. Because he plays Maui, the fire god. Anyway, and the 71 too. Hawaii burned up on the 353rd day of the state's age, the 71st prime. Governor almost gloating about it on the 71st anniversary of weather warfare being admitted to on August 15th, which was the Jesuit order's birthday as well. And I noticed the phrase military-industrial complex equals 353. And Hawaii was acquired for military purposes. And if you haven't heard Eisenhower's warning as he's leaving office about the future of the military-industrial complex, he says it'll grow beyond our wildest nightmares. How about our military being used against us for the Green New Deal strategies because the ends justify the means, and they have a better plan for the future of the world where people will live in this, this envisioned paradise they have, these smart cities. And right now it's just casualties of war. It's just externalities. Yes, maybe they did burn up 1,000 kids in Lahaina. It's going to be better for millions of kids in the future. I think that's the way these people think. And I don't think, that's how we expect our government to roll in a democratic republic where we're supposedly representing elected officials to make decisions that are beneficial to our lives, not sacrificing our lives for future generations and their future plan. Why not get us to all work together on a smart plan that we can really understand that's based in some actual facts and as opposed to turn on the blowtorch winds. But yeah, I just want to point out where these names fit together. And again, just how everything we've been talking about just lining up more and more. Notice how Robert Farley is 64. Or hold on. Just Joe Biden. Yeah, we already covered it. Disregard. We covered it. Christian Rogers, the other person who burned up in the house, the 25-year-old, like Fire's 25. Christian Rogers equals 183, like Pearl Harbor, like Order Out of Chaos, like Vladimir Putin, because again, Biden and Putin met on Pearl Harbor Day, December 7th, 2021, right before Russia-Ukraine kicked off to try and stop Russia-Ukraine. That was the story. And again, that was 201 days after the Jesuit Ignatian year began. Christian Rogers, and again, they say that Caleb Farley wears his faith on his sleeve every game, with the crosses painted on his face. Again, his father's name 17/9, NFL born 17/9. Patrick Mahomes, the face of the NFL right now, born 17/9. Lots of rituals with Mahomes, as we've been discussing. But yeah, just Oilers, now the Titans, fighting carbon emissions, the agendas. Remember, these agendas are supported by the United Nations. Remember on the 174th day of the Jesuit order's year before Biden met with Putin. On the 174th day, they unveiled that statue at the United Nations of a beast. And the phrase number of the beast equals 174. If you run it in reverse, it's 258. Again, the Patriots and the Titans are playing on 25/8. But this explosion was 174 days before the upcoming Super Bowl. And I'm not saying that means the Titans are in the Super Bowl. I'm just saying these are all little details in a connected league that shares profit. They're all little details leading us up to where they're taking us. I always wonder if it'll get as bad as, if you guys don't know, there's an old movie from the 70s that won awards. It's really well done from the 70s if you've never seen it. If you watch that movie, you'll be like, wow, this movie was like big budget for this time period. It's called Black Sunday. It's about a terrorist attack at the Super Bowl. Of course, you've seen it in the Batman films. It's like, does eventually somehow this agenda end up in a live football stadium one day? Are they taking us there? You might recall in the one with Morgan Freeman, The Sum of All Fears. It's like it looks like kind of like it could be a Steelers-Ravens game or something like that. It's supposed to be, I think, in Baltimore, the Ravens, near the nation's capital. But the big bomb goes off. Again, the Super Bowl this year is on the Vatican's birthday. It'll be their 95th birthday. Baltimore equals 95, like the Jesuits were credited to counter the 95 Theses. In Gematria, Baltimore also equals 58, like it's Super Bowl 58. So look into the Titans in Baltimore history. Again, it's a puzzle how they put all this stuff together. They're the Riddlers, dropping clues. Jim Carrey off his rocker in the number 23. Those really are the main points for this one. And I'm tempted to just jump into the World Cup, Women's World Cup star who scored the winning goal in the championship, how it was announced her father was dead after the game, and also Black Youngster's brother, because it all fits in with this same Illuminati Jesuit pattern. But I still kind of want to save that one for a separate video just to really detail why August 18th is so significant when both of them lost the people connected to them. But yeah, read about it. Caleb Farley, who wore his faith on his sleeve. Again, the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, number 3, going into his 3rd season. The $3 million house blows up. Looks like it was turned into a salt pile. There's some other things if you want to read the post and read the finer points. I don't want to overwhelm with numbers. I do want to continue to pound home the point of 201 and who's running this government and this nation and in sports leagues. Hey, here's a point I'll close out with. In light of, again, the Biden administration, and again, Joe Biden sacrificed his wife, daughter, and son all in 201 rituals. Last year, Trump did it, who's in the Jesuit club, burying his wife on the 201st day of the year, his ex-wife, and so on and so forth. Long pattern. This is the Illuminati number. So many Illuminati, even the founder of the Illuminati died 201 days after the anniversary of its establishment. But the Patriots, again, they're playing the Patriots. 9/11, 2 towers became 0 before they became 1. Patriot Act. All of that at the same time. Tom Brady was the beneficiary of that script. 9/11, Patriot Act. The Patriots weren't anything. Patriots never won a Super Bowl. They got smoked by the Bears with the revolutionary 4-6 defense, 46-10, when Chicago equals 46. But then when Tom Brady came along, he won them all these Super Bowls. And, or wait a minute, did the Patriots win a Super Bowl over the Packers before Brady was there? I got to go back and double check in case I'm missing that. But anyway, the Patriots were never thought of as this top-tier franchise until Brady and the Patriots right after 9/11 and the Patriot Act. Tom Brady was born in 1977. That's 201 years after 1776. Again, 1776, the Illuminati founded, and America. And remember, Giselle, his wife, was born on the 201st day of the year, July 20th, International Chess Day. They made a big deal about, ESPN made a big deal about when Brady got his 201st career win. Let me go back to my old post here. Oh, actually, I want to look at that too. But hold on. It's my old website, Brady 201 Rams. Let's see if this pulls it up. So this is ESPN's front page in 2016. I documented this December 6, 2016. The amazing numbers behind Tom Brady's march to 201. Back at this time, I didn't understand how significant this number was. I started this research in 2013, so I'm a little more than 3 years into the research. I have some documentations of 201 back then, but I did not recognize how important it was. And again, in Jewish Gematria, Rams is 201. And why it mattered so much that Tom Brady got his 201st win over the Rams, this team that he had all that history with, right? And then plus Tom Brady was the first quarterback to take his team to the Super Bowl in their home stadium the year he went down to Tampa. And then the Rams did the same thing the very next year. But the Rams were in St. Louis back then. And St. Louis University is one of the nation's 27 Jesuit universities. Again, the Jesuit Order 201, Order of Illuminati 201, the Illuminati founded by the Jesuit Adam Weishaupt. Huge number. But Rams in Jewish Gematria is 201 again. And St. Louis is connected to the quarterback position forever through history. And that's because the first ever forward pass was thrown by St. Louis University, the Jesuit school, the first ever forward pass in football history, giving birth to the quarterback position. And you might recall in Kenosha the other year when the Madman drove over the Christmas parade that was more than a month before Christmas, that was this massive 201 ritual. And we were looking into what was going on in the NFL season and how that first forward pass by St. Louis University was actually thrown in Kenosha. And then you got Aaron Rodgers there at the time. Aaron Charles Rodgers, his full name's 201. He grew up in the Bay Area, named after St. Francis of Assisi, just like the first Jesuit Pope, Pope Francis. And before the Jesuits was the Franciscans, which were the precursor model that the Jesuits were built on. But anyway, all this stuff's connected, and it's why these numbers have been there all along. And remember, when Tom Brady won Super Bowl 55, go look at his box score. He had 201 passing yards. And he's talking about how his wife's a good witch, helping him win the games. And again, in Kabbalah, Jewish mysticism, the practice of coding numbers into words that can be used for witchcraft. All this 201 stuff they just keep doing over and over. I mean, we just talked about how bad 201 was with Maui. Now they're blowing up. And again, we just connected Maui back to the Titans game. I mean, that's part of what I've been talking about. But now this happens. And again, 201 days after it goes into motion, the targeting of natural gas. I mean, come on. President Biden with his 81 million votes. Is he going to make it through office once he turns 81? I've been talking about this since before he was even in office. All right. Thank you very much. Whoa, what's going on here? Weird. Never seen it do that. Can't read the... Gematria Sense, thank you very much. They say they're excited for the new book. I appreciate that very much. I hope more people are excited too. Gets better by the day that I don't release it because I just have more and more material to work with that's undeniable. But yeah, I got to get it done. John says, is there a connection between Caleb Farley and Caleb Farley, the serial killer from Pennsylvania in the mid-90s? Okay. See, for anyone who listens to that and thinks that's a stretch, let's think about this, you guys. Remember, they traced the serial killer from up here in the Pacific Northwest back to Scranton, Pennsylvania, Joe Biden's hometown. And they showed that killer, who was responsible for the University of Idaho killings, that he lived in apartment 201. And again, Scranton, The Office runs for 201 episodes. The hit show that I rewatched. Again, Biden's wife and daughter died in a big 201 ritual in 72, and then Beau Biden died at age 46, 201 days before the Pope's birthday, who's Mr. 201, the first Jesuit Pope, the first to live in Suite 201 at the Vatican. So we have 201s with a serial killer story going back to Scranton, which is in Pennsylvania. And now you're making the connection with Caleb Farley, and here we're talking about how this just happened at Farley 201 days after Biden's administration says they're going after natural gas. If they ever report that my house blew up in a natural gas explosion, there's no natural gas lines in this town, just for the record. Could be helpful in the future. But here, let's look more at Caleb Farley. I mean, it's one letter off, right? Caleb Farley. I'm not familiar with this. This happened in 73, so going back to 73, hip-hop anniversary, Roe vs. Wade. He's born October 21st, the day leaving 71 days left in the year. The 294th day of the year. Hold on, before we go into this, I forgot something that's just so undeniable. Shout out to Joey. Right before I went live, I saw Joey's tweet. The house that blew up, you guys, the house that blew up was at the address 292 Barber Loop. 292 Barber Loop. And from Caleb Farley's last birthday, November 2nd, to his father's house exploding is 292 days later. So think about that too. You know, these guys sign on the line for the money, the fame. We've pointed out rituals like this before, and we've said, see, this is why it looks like maybe these people don't decide what mansion they've bought for their father to live in. 6,300 square foot house, they say, exploded. Because we've seen stuff like this before, and we've said, look how perfect it is. It almost looks like that house was bought like a ticking time bomb for this ritual killing to happen in. Sometimes it's a murder or a stabbing or supposedly a robbery. This time it's a natural gas line, which fits with the political narrative. Because all football season, you'll be seeing military ads and political ads and ads for all kinds of things that don't really need to be in your mind. But they get in your mind because you want to watch the game. Because the game is paramount in our culture. But okay, Caleb Farley, date apprehended September 12th. Born October 21st. He would have been 50 years old later this year, 49 right now. Or wait, he is alive. That is it. We can see if there's a distance in either of these dates. September 12th, that's Andrew Luck's birthday. When I just think NFL. But again, the explosion was 8:21. The news is 8:22. So the explosion was the explosion was exactly 49 weeks after his apprehension anniversary. 49 is an interesting number in the NFL because NFL equals 49. Other words that equal 49 that fit in: Super Bowl, America, Scottish. Football's American. It's credited to a Scottish Rite Freemason. 49's got a square root of 7. A lot of 7s in football. A lot of 11s in football, too, and his mom died 11 days before that thing in 2018 with the Titans and the NFL and the scare in Hawaii, the 808, where the emergency alert hit a lot of people's phones at 808. But okay, let's also measure from the birthday. By the way, that means it's 22 days. It is also 22 days for the anniversary of the apprehension. Caleb Farley was the 22nd pick of the NFL draft. The sport's 11 on 11, 22 men on the field, just like international football. But October 21st is Farley's birthday anniversary. 10 months on the nose. I could speculate on things like that. But that means it's 61 days before his upcoming anniversary. Or his 61 days for his upcoming birthday. The father's dead at age 61, which is when you're 61, you're in your 62nd year of life, like we talked about with the 62s. Again, that's because when you're born, you're in your first year of life. When you turn 1, you begin your second year of life, and so on. But I suppose it's also a span of 62 days too, huh? So maybe it is. Maybe it is. Caleb Farley. Wow, Collegeville, Pennsylvania. Now, we were just talking about how the killer arrested in Scranton, it was a college murder. And remember, those stories broke on the King's birthday, and the other killings in the news that day were at the Virginia Cavaliers campus, the football players, and those who fought for King Charles in the English Civil War were Cavaliers. He murdered a woman aged 29, which is a football number. This was the year Biden... hold on. Let's look at the actual murder, too. September 10th. Football, isn't that the opening weekend? Let's see. Titans NFL schedule. The Titans' first game this year is against the Saints. You can't get more Catholic than the Saints on September 10th. So this Farley... Now, again, we've been talking about, how Catholic the Saints are, and Derek Carr going from the Raiders to the Saints, and the Saints were originally going to have this year's Super Bowl, but now it's the Raiders, and again, just the Super Bowl on the Vatican's birthday, and, what's more Catholic than Saints? So, the Titans opened the year against the Saints on the anniversary of the Chris Farley murder of Collegeville. The Riddler, man. These people just, it's like, I guess they're just so bored ruling the world they have to amuse themselves. They were waiting for somebody to one up the 201 gang, so they had to wait till the guy who was born on the 202nd day of the year. On September 10th, 95, Farley was working alone at Your Kids and Mine, the Collegeville children's clothing store owned by his parents. Just before closing time, Lisa Marie Mandarick, born September 30th, 1965, and her daughter Devon, born February 4th, 94, entered the store. When Farley realized that they were the only customers present, he locked the doors to the store. He then attempted to sexually assault Lisa Mandarick. When she resisted him, he became enraged and strangled her to death. He also strangled her infant daughter. After the murder, he sexually abused Mandarick's corpse, then went to an Electric Hellfire Club concert they had been planning to attend that night. Nice. Yeah, I didn't know about this story. It's back when I was definitely not paying attention to the news. Just tune it out. It's all negative. But okay, again, the Super Bowl's on the Vatican's 95th birthday. This happened in 95. And the Titans just happened to be playing the Saints on that day. The dad's house blew up 19 days before the game. Saints equals 19. Remember, there's only two teams in the NFL with the 19 connection. Seattle is the 19 city, and Saints are the 19 name. And the first coach with the Cooties 19 virus was Sean Payton of the Saints back then. And COVID equals Saints in multiple ciphers like Seattle. Wow. Very good with the Caleb Farley thing. Nice. Pennsylvania, you got the Eagles in the Super Bowl last year. Of course, the Steelers. Yeah, I think there is a connection there. So I cannot figure out what's going on here. I gotta fix this. Hold on, you guys. I got some goofy thing going on my end. Or hold on. I still haven't fixed it. Okay. Why is it doing that? Sorry, guys. I cannot get things to be on the screen. They're off the screen, so I can't see them. Thank you, Nathan. Appreciate it. Nathan said natural resources, 222. Okay. Interesting. But yeah, Caleb Farley with the crosses and the other person dead is Christian. I mean, just think about it, you guys. In Gematria, death is 25. The Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, what we were saying about all threes. A ritual, a really dark, demonic ritual. Again, if you guys are new here, the Jesuit order equals 201 like the Holy Bible equals 201. And they use the Bible like it's a playbook. 201 relates to light in Hebrew. God makes light in Genesis. In the third verse of Genesis 1:3, God makes light. This is what the Illuminati is. It's like, we'll give you the knowledge, but you're going to serve darkness for your wealth and your fame until the day we take it away and take your life away like we just did to your fathers. Genesis 3, the third chapter of Genesis is about the serpent, the trickster. Okay, I just want to make sure I hit every point. But yeah, I'll eventually get... I keep not getting to the video I want to do because there's just all this new breaking news. I just can't keep up. I'm trying to put in writing time. I'm trying to keep up with the news, present. But yeah, I'll get to... I might just save it for TFR at this point. Again, thank you to everyone who hits the like and the share. The more likes, the more comments, the more shares, the more likely this goes up in the algorithm and more people find this work. And I'm really hoping. I'm really hoping these short books that I will get out pronto. I'm really hoping they're going to generate some revenue, and we can do like a week to week travel into NFL stadiums to pound pavement and bring people together to wake it up. I mean, a weekend in Tennessee to educate about this, etc. I was just saying at the end of my last stream that I want to get out to Memphis. I feel like Tennessee's so central right now. Again, yeah, if you guys haven't heard what I'm saying about MJ and November 3rd coming up, the 27th anniversary of Kobe's debut, the man who mirrored Jordan's career. Kobe and Moses Malone died of big 60 rituals. Jordan's 60 right now. He was 6-0 in finals. Again, Jordan was in Italy 201 days after the Pope's birthday this year. We know what happened to Tony Soprano. It synced up with his Italy vacation. Remember, Sopranos came out in 99, and Gematria Sopranos equals 99, and Tony Soprano died on the 99th day of the first Jesuit Pope. The Jesuits have been described as gangsters. You know, the mafia, the Jesuits, all goes back to Italy. Got the gangsters just at Maui and said the victims look like Vesuvius. Got them. But yeah, November 3rd, I noticed in the NBA, the Bulls are playing Brooklyn, and Jordan's from Brooklyn. And Slick Nick saying that must be something going on with the Tar Heels. Remember, Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant both 113 like the National Basketball Association. That day is 187 days from the Jesuit-run Nike company putting out the film with Hollywood about how Nike took over with the Jordan brand. Anyway, R.I.P. to Caleb Farley's father and Christian Rogers, if that's what happened. But at the same time, I mean, people have to observe the knowledge and pay attention to the patterns and see how redundant it is and see how we're being played for fools. Again, just something this crazy. When have you ever heard of a NFL player's father blowing up from a natural gas explosion, except for in the year where the administration goes after this? And then it just happens to happen 201 days later, when I've been educating about what this number means to these politicians, this capital, this Jesuit stronghold, Washington, D.C., and this nation's history. We got to get people to understand the message. Pronto, ASAP. But thank you again to everyone who hits the like and the share. And I will be back soon enough. And yeah, again, the downside of not getting out the books is they're not out there. But the good side is I know that everything I've been working on for all these years trying to get it just right, I know it's on point. I know it's on point. The knowledge is on point. Till next time.